Hi, fellow traders. What's happening? I hope you guys had a great weekend. You're off to a great start this week. It's Super Tuesday. The market's been giving us a couple opportunities here. Not the best, but good enough to make money. Some of them have been really good, just weren't in the right place at the right time. But that's just the way it is. But as long as the opportunities are there and we're there to take advantage of some, that's all we can ask for. So I hope this continues. I know we're about a week away or less than a week away from the election, and I think things are going to be even more erratic once on Wednesday. But that's just my prediction, but we'll see. Time will tell. It's exciting, it's fun. That's what keeps us coming back to the market every day. All right, so really quick, the heaviest burdens that we carry are the thoughts in our head. And I know you guys can relate to this. Okay, how many times a day? I'm not saying how many times. I'm saying how many times a day do we get thoughts in our head that we just can't get rid of? And then they just continue to wear us down and beat us down. Okay, and when that happens and people see we're struggling, somebody's always gonna tell us what's their advice. It's either gonna be forget about it, don't worry about it, don't think about it, don't let it get you down, keep moving forward. Trouble's not gonna last always, which is true. Trouble doesn't last always, but if you don't fix what brings the trouble, then it's gonna come back. So we want to cut that out. So we have to start by replacing all of these crazy thoughts that may be negative, these ideas that just weigh us down and prevent us from achieving the success that we need, that we're looking for. Whatever's bringing us down, we have to replace it. We just can't forget about it. We just can't dump it out of our heads. It doesn't work that way. We have to replace it with some positive reinforcement, some real solutions, things that highlight the positive. And in trading, we try to focus on small wins. But how many times do we let one trade get in our head and wreck our whole day? And in some cases, wreck our whole week. So how many times are we sitting here waiting on a stock to set up that has a beautiful window of opportunity and it doesn't set up, but we can't get it out of our heads, and we end up taking an ill-advised trade and all of the baggage that comes with that. All we have to do is just focus on these small wins, focus on the positives that we're taking out of the market every day. And if we can build off of that, we can start replacing a lot of those negative thoughts, those negative feelings that come when we might mess up or, have a bad day in the market. We can replace it with these good things. Because I don't know if you guys have heard the parable or the story about, the dirty glass of water. You could dump that dirty glass of water out, but guess what? When you put water in it, you're putting it in a dirty glass, and that water is going to get dirty. It may be a little bit cleaner, but it's still dirty. But the way you get the glass clean, you can rinse it out, but you have to keep filling it with clean water. So you could have the glass sit there and you could keep dumping clean water. Eventually the water in the glass is going to become clean. Or you could rinse and repeat. Either way, you're refilling that glass with clean water. So we're refilling ourselves with positive reinforcement, positive information, positive data to kind of take the place of all that negative stuff that's bringing us down. And it could be as easy as changing how we look at things. Think about our equity curve. We talk about not looking at our P&L and not looking at our day-to-day movement or our week-to-week movement. We talk about looking at our weekly P&L. So if we look at our daily P&L, let me update this. Look at this. Or weekly, up and down, up and down, up and down. But look, if we plot it as our account's growing, look how it smooths it out. And this gives us a better feel about our trading than actually looking at this. Because this, we're just plotting the data from week to week. This is what we made, this is what we made, this is what we made. But when we lay it out and we lay it in sequence, it changes the way we look at how we're doing. Okay, so far we're not worrying about numbers at this point. We're worrying about looking at this line and making sure it's continuing to go up. This was the secret to me turning things around. Not worrying so much about a dollar amount, but worrying about whether my equity curve is going in the right direction. Sure, you're going to have pullbacks. And every time we do, I know exactly what happened here. I know exactly what happened here. All right, but look, we're still trending up. And no matter what problems I have, no matter what things bring me down, everything is going to come out. One thing I was thinking about today, we had a meeting with our fund members today, and I left out the most important part, that from the beginning of this year until now, these guys made 33% return on their investment. And this is a big reason why. Because I'm not worrying about any of that. I'm worrying about this equity curve and it going in the right direction. And I'm not overthinking things when stuff starts to go south. I know exactly what I need to do to fix it. So, that's what I mean by all it takes sometimes is just changing how you look at something. Taking your P&L off your platform, period, and just trading the chart, trading the setup. All of that makes a big difference. It makes a huge difference. So just little things like that. So think about that. All right, this is the last time I'm going to talk about this, probably for a while. Almost filled up again. But that Roadmap to Success membership, this is the best deal that I have. 6 months, all access to everything. Our education room, where you get to see me trade real time every day. The library of classes that I have, and those get updated every year. Now I do have the ones from previous years that's still there, but we redo the class every year. It's just like this year. This market is different than any market that we've been through before. So the classes this year had to reflect what was going on in the market right now. And then we had those live classes just about every week. This week we won't have a live one tomorrow because I have to go out of town to the doctors, but we have one every Sunday morning that we're talking about swings, and then we typically have one every Wednesday. All of my scans, all of the forms that I have that I use, you get everything I've got. But what I feel is the most important is the mentoring aspect of it, where we can address your challenges one-on-one. Everybody has different challenges, and being able to address each individual one-on-one and working through those challenges, I mean, it's priceless. But you have to understand what the process is and what your role in the process is. And actually, you're the driving force in the mentoring process. But, it's priceless. And when you break it down, you get all of this for $41 a month. So it's one payment of $249, and it breaks down to $41 a month. That's what you get. So this is probably the last time I'm going to even talk about it for a while, so you don't have to worry about seeing that anymore if you've already seen it. I got a couple more and we'll be filled up again. So we're looking at the SPY today. Yesterday, it broke that descending triangle that we've been looking at for the last couple of days. We said if it broke it, I would look for it to pull down to the 100. Pretty much do this deal here. But we opened what I thought was relatively strong. We opened green this morning, but then we quickly sold off, and we're still trending down. I mean, the market was good enough to bait me into a couple of swings, which we'll talk about here in a minute. But it looks like the bulls are losing this grip. Now, this doesn't mean the bottom's going to fall out of the market, but I believe we're going to pull back a little bit farther. We may even get back to this 330 level before we start to see a bounce. And if things don't go right and things get a little bit out of control or centered around this election, we may be coming back a little bit further. But right now, all we could do is look at the technicals on the chart. And the technicals are telling me that we're probably going to continue to pull back. Now, if we held it here and started to break back up and take out the top of this descending resistance, then I'd have a different idea. But we didn't. We went red. We rejected the 50-day here, went red on the day, and we're still selling. I think we're down to around 336.70 or something. We're $1 below where it was when I took this snapshot. And this was right after the market closed. So, it's going to be an interesting couple of days. But if the market's moving and it's giving us opportunity to make money, at least make money day trading. Well, this is yesterday's trade on BA. I didn't get to do a video yesterday. So I got a little quick on the draw here. I got in before it was like 2.5 minutes into the candle. I didn't mean to, but I did. And ended up getting a base hit out of it. Hit our first target, but then we came right back, stopped out at break even. And if this candle didn't get me, this one would have. And then we started to work again. So once we broke the low of this, low, I got in again. Another single. We didn't quite get to the next target and before it bounced, and I took it off well before break even. This is one of these where, okay, we didn't actually claim the 9. In my mind, I convinced myself that we claimed the 9 and I took it off. But technically, the only candle that closed over the 9 was the one I took it off on. And then this one never made a higher high. So I never should have been out of this trade. This was an error in judgment here, an execution error. And you can see I waited. We got in here again. Another little base hit. But this time I waited. It took me out at break even. Even though this candle is the one that closed, the first one that closed back above it, I had to stop out at break even. And you can see we rejected here again. and sold back off. So I waited over here. You can see we made almost a lower high here, but we rejected this level again, pulled back, made a lower high in rejecting again. And finally, when we broke back below, common sense, get in and let's take our first target here and then see if we could continue to fade. But big time fake out here, and then it ripped itself right back up. But no, I'm not stopping out now, because I think I know that we're going to reject up here, and we're going to come in again. And we did reject up here. So, my thesis was right, but we never came back. And oops, I didn't capture when I got out. But it was a loss that took about half of what I made on these little trades here. So this one loss took away half. I think I was up like 400 and some dollars until this trade here. But because before I got out, I was looking at where I was prior to entering this trade, because it still showed the net P&L, and I think it was 4 something. But here again, taking a trade after 3 turned into a taking half my earnings. So that was yesterday. Fast forward to today. Watch list crapped out on me for the most part. I did get one trade off the watch list, but I think AMD was the only one that was on the watch list. But there were a couple that did make good moves. It's just that the one I chose didn't give me exactly what I wanted. But you can see EXAS, this thing made a huge run, and it hit our reversal scan. So I was looking for a reversal trade on this, and I got in here, but we never did reverse. You can see this thing just held up. So after a while, I got sick of it, and I took it off, and then it comes down, and eventually it hit where I could have taken profit on this. But I got out, and then now I'm thinking, okay, I'm buying it because it's not going anywhere. And so I bought it and ended up getting stopped out. I'm like, man, okay, that's it. I'm done with this. So here I waited until we actually made a good move. Now I could have bought it one candle earlier, but I kind of wanted to give it another tick. I probably should have waited until we got over this. That would have been the smartest thing to do. But this was a little aggressive. I was on my little laptop and just kind of got all messed up with it. But bought it here, and 135 I thought was going to be it. I figured that would be the farthest we would get. But no, it actually went all the way up to almost 142.50. And then it reversed, because this thing pulled all the way back to VWAP. So the move I was looking for over here, it actually happened. I could have had a good $2,000 day. But remember what happened yesterday? I shut it down. Okay, after this trade, I shut it down. This was AMD. This was the one on my watch list. So I didn't get it right when the 5-minute opening range broke. I waited and got it after it confirmed. Got the first target, then ended up getting stopped out, break even. And even if I got in up here, I still would have been stopped out. And it ran up and it pulled back again. So coming out of lunch, I thought, we're breaking down. I waited for it to lose this level. And we were, if you're in chat, you heard me saying I was concerned about this wick. Anytime a stock wicks down like this, you better be careful. and be ready to get out of the trade, because 9 times out of 10, there was some serious support here that this stock did not like, and it got aggressively bought back up. And you can see we never did come back close to even testing this. I mean, eventually we did, but in here we didn't. So ended up giving back some of my winnings from the morning on this trade. So you know what I did? I shut it down because of what happened the day before. I brought that baggage. That baggage, was in my head. Surprised I didn't have a headache with all of that. But that was still there. It never was replaced. And so I missed out on potentially a $2,000 day because EXAS unwound. And if I would have been looking, engaged, and traded that reversal, just like I try to at the beginning, it would have been awesome. But it is what it is. And we came out of the day 420.50. Right around where I should have finished yesterday. But a pretty decent day. We string a couple of these together a week, and we can finish this quarter strong. I'm excited about next year and what's coming. Everything should start to hopefully look a lot brighter for us. And so I think the market may begin to reflect that as well. So that was that on the day trading side. The swing trades I got in, ETSY. I don't know how this one's doing right now. Let's see. I didn't see how it closed, so I don't know where we're at. It closed pretty good. All right, so when I took this snapshot, it actually pulled up some. I don't know what it's going to do tomorrow because the market's selling off pretty good right now. But we'll see. It was a nice trade. And like I said, the market had me fooled this morning thinking we were going to make that run. But ETSY does report earnings tomorrow. So as I said, I think I sent this in the tweet. You got to be out of this before earnings. So even if it's running up tomorrow, we got to take it off. Our strategy in this is not to hold through earnings. Now I do have an aftermarket earnings strategy. I traded it 3 times last week. Yesterday and today. It's working. I mean, we've got our edge back. So a couple didn't make the big moves and they kind of fizzled out, but the strategy is working. And so hopefully I can start bringing that back. But in our swing trades, our strategy is not to hold through earnings. Unless we've taken profit, 2 times, we've got a small position left. I mean, it's no big deal to let that go if everything lines up. Now, if everything doesn't line up, we got to take it off anyway. But ETSY, no matter what, I'll be out of it tomorrow after the market closes. PRTS, this one I caught at lunchtime. So I couldn't send a tweet out with all of the data and stuff until afterwards. But I told you, if you got a pullback, it would still be worth getting in. Now I'm looking for it to take out its 52-week high and continue to make a run up. This one has earnings on November the 9th, I think. And I do believe this is going to continue to run up into earnings. So this is another one I'm looking for a strong move over the next 2 weeks up into earnings. We could potentially get to $20, $25, I believe. I'm sure we can get to to 20 if everything stays intact. But again, the market can't unravel on us. If it does, it's going to hurt our swings, and things aren't going to be pleasant. So that's going to wrap it up. I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. We won't have our regular video tomorrow. Like I said, I'll be out of town, so we'll be back Thursday and kind of wrap up what's happened in those last couple of days, and we'll see where our swings are at that point. So you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you on the other side.